You can predict your walking style in your 70s. How? With the help of science. Let's find out. Dr. Walk. Hi, I'm Dr. Walk. I have a PhD in biomechanics. Welcome to the first and only YouTube channel on the science of walking. Follow this channel to know what science has to say about your walking. Today, I'm going to show you 8 changes that happen to your walking when you get old. Note that these changes happen to all people, and they happen slowly over time, so you may not notice them. And that's why I made this video. You may ask, why do I need to know them? The answer is, you increase your knowledge about your walking, and knowledge is power. How? Sometimes these changes may trouble your walking, but you can prevent them. I will talk more about this at the end of the video, so make sure you stick to the end. I'm almost 40 and recently I decided to pay more attention to my health. And that's why I became interested in how my walking will change when I get old. How did I do that? I used my knowledge of human walking. So I did some research, summarized the findings of scientific papers, and did some experiments. You probably have noticed that when you walk, your foot motion has 2 distinct parts. The part where the foot is on the ground and the part where the foot is in the air. And the first change happens right when the foot touches the ground. Let's freeze this moment and see what happens when we get old. When we are young, the foot looks like this, flexed. But when we get old, we don't flex our ankle joint like we used to at a young age. So our foot is less flexed when touching the ground. While the first change was for when our foot hits the ground, the second change is for the moment our foot leaves the ground. At this moment, our foot pushes against the ground to generate the force required to move forward. To generate this force, our ankle needs to be at a proper angle. And it is this angle that is changed when we get old, which results in a lower push against the ground. Our legs don't just move us forward during walking. They also support our body from falling, and they perform this crucial task when they are in contact with the ground. Research shows that the time we spend in this phase, I mean the time when one foot is on the ground, increases by as much as 20% from our 20s to our 70s, meaning that our legs should support our weight for a longer duration when walking in our old age. It is not just our stance leg, the leg on the ground, that slows down. Our stance and swing legs should be in perfect coordination during a step. Therefore, our swing leg also slows down in our old age. The swinging leg is preparing to land and start our next step. But it seems it is not in a rush when we get old. We are halfway through. The next 4 are more easily observable. I'm sure you have noticed that older people generally walk slower. And that's exactly what happens to your walking when you get old. You walk slower, but the question is, how much slower? Research shows that our walking speed decreases from about 1.5 meters per second in our 30s to less than a meter per second in our 90s. That's a huge 42% reduction, and that's probably why you notice it. This means that you need more time to walk the same distance in your old age, so prepare for it in advance. Not only do we walk slower in our old age, but we also take shorter steps. In fact, the steps are 40% shorter in old people compared to their younger counterparts. What does this mean for you? It means that you have to take more steps to walk the same distance when you get old. Imagine you are walking on a tightrope. What do you feel? Feeling losing your balance? Well, if you are not an expert. And what do you wish you could do? Taking wider steps, right? These are exactly what older people feel and do in their everyday walking. They feel like they have lower balance, and because of that, they take wider steps to overcome it. Okay, they may not feel them, but their bodies do. You get what I mean. The last change is also something that you have noticed a lot. While all the previous changes were related to our legs and feet, this last one is a change in our upper body. Yes, you guessed it right. We walk with a less upright and more forward-leaning trunk in our walking. See, I told you and predict the way you walk when you have gray hair. Now let's see how your walking will look with all these changes together. Okay, now you know the changes. So what? As I said at the beginning of the video, while these changes happen to all people, they may cause problems for some. But don't worry, you can avoid them by doing workouts regularly. What workouts? See this video for a list of exercises that can improve your walking. Thank you for watching, and until the next video, let's keep walking.